Hello, in this video we're going to be covering operate difference, and with this tool you can kind of think of it as a more powerful edit geographic split overlays. So it takes one layer and uses that layer as kind of the cookie cutter that cuts out portions of another layer. So let's make a couple new layers. Let's kind of avoid ruining our data over here. And let's just pan outside of the area. Zoom in maybe 500 feet to the inch, something around there. And let's just make a couple layers and a couple features and use those for this practice. So edit layer add. We'll call the first one diff1 polygon. Okay. And let's just go ahead and make another layer, diff2 polygon. Okay. So for diff1, let's do edit geographic add. You can fill this in anywhere, but I'm just using C1. Let's just call this test1, just to have some attribute information in there. And make a nice little rectangle. Now let's add another feature for diff2. Call this test2. Okay, and let's draw that right on top of here. So obviously diff2 is overlapping, it's on top of diff1. And what we want to do is use diff2 as the overlay, and then we're going to use diff1, the smaller piece, as the input. So the overlay, we can just keep diff2 selected, and we'll go Alt-O-F, operate difference. You can see overlay layers diff2. Both of them are actually diff2. It's just based on what you have selected. Obviously it wouldn't make any sense to run the operation against itself, but you could technically just come in here without having a layer selected and just choose what you want to use. But we're going to leave diff2 as our overlay, and our input's going to be diff1, and we can just call this difference. Okay. And let's turn off diff2 and diff1 to see what our results are. I'm just going to change this fill color so it's a little bit easier to see. And so straight away you can see that kind of cookie cutter took effect. Diff2 cut a hole through diff1, and you can see that the attributes from diff1 have been maintained here. But it's not like a union where you get, some sort of copy of both layers information. It doesn't create a new feature from that intersection point that we had, and we end up with no overlaps. It's, like I said, basically similar to edit geographic split overlay, and the result is just a nice clean shape with a hole in it. So you could imagine that if we used diff2 on this corner, or if we had it kind of coming through here as a stream, it would cut out a stream. So maybe if you had a parcel with a river coming through it, but that the river didn't belong to that parcel, then you would want to split out that, and you could use that one river shape to split out across all of parcel. Yeah, there's a couple different ways that you might end up using operate difference. Also just good for analytical tools where you want to just see the actual difference between things and get an area count off of one layer opposed to the other. So pretty powerful tool, pretty fast, and yeah, just pretty simple example here. But if you want to try another one and do it on the corner, or maybe you can draw a polygon through, you're welcome to do so. Okay, thank you.